Okay, so those are the top bets coming in. Thank you, Mr. Vaseem, for joining us and talking to us about your top bets. But let's welcome on board Sumant Sinha, the managing the managing director at Renew Power as well. Sumant, hi. Thank you so much for making time and speaking with us. Well, a lot of announcement when it comes to the energy transition. There was that entire 20,000 crore allocation when it comes to the National Green Hydrogen Mission. There was the production target for green hydrogen, which was raised to 5 million metric ton by 2030. Plus, a lot of priority capital investment for energy transition was announced to the tune of 35,000 crore rupees. Are you happy with the announcements that were made for green hydrogen specifically?
Yeah, actually, that announcement had already been made earlier. The National Green Hydrogen Mission had been announced by the government. So we were actually aware of it. I think the FM chose the opportunity of the budget to reiterate the target and just re-emphasize the importance of it, and also continue to state that the government is very clear that India has to move towards energy independence. But I think beyond that, a number of the other things that the government announced, viability gap funding for batteries, the 13 gigawatt scheme for Ladakh transmission, the 35,000 crores of energy transition investments. All of those are very, very strong positives for essentially continue to make the Indian economy a green one, and ensure that as we grow and grow rapidly, that sustainability is not left out. So I think it was very, very positive from that standpoint.
Hi there, good afternoon. How do you believe, the government is really looking at their initiative to spur green investment, the green credit program in particular? Do you think that it is likely to bring about a mammoth change here?
Well, I would hope so. I think, look, the underlying philosophy really is the Prime Minister's target or statement or philosophy of life, which is lifestyle for the environment, which is something that he's announced at international forums, and he's made that a centerpiece of India's sustainability efforts. And that's not just looking at the clean energy transition; it's also looking at just how do you green the economy as a whole, including things like green farming, circularity economy, how to do more mangrove farming. A lot of those kinds of things are also part and parcel of greening the Indian economy. So I think he's looking at sustainability in a very holistic way, which of course the clean energy transition is an important part of that, but so are all of these other areas that are also very important.
Left wanting for more, because as you pointed out, some of the announcements made on green hydrogen were a reiteration. Plus, there is nothing that concrete when it comes to the traditional power sector, nothing to support the discoms in a big way or last mile connectivity. Plus, there seems to be a hike when it comes to the coal import, because the coal import duty has been increased to 2.5% versus 1%. Are you left wanting for more as when it comes to the power sector, or happy with it?
Well, look, we always want more. We would not be doing our jobs if we did not want or expect more. But look, I think seriously speaking, you have to look at what the government is doing more broadly, not just within the budget, but outside the budget as well. And there's a tremendous amount that the government has done. And so I'm not surprised that the government didn't announce anything very specific for the power sector over and above the 0.5% extra fiscal deficit that states are allowed to have for the power sector part only. But I think, look, there's a lot going on. The the Energy Conservation Act was passed by Parliament. The Electricity Amendment Act is already in Parliament to get passed. And all of those actually, envisage a very substantial, almost a revolutionary change in the power sector in terms of the distribution side and so on. So some of those things are happening in parallel. And I think we just have to wait for those things to come through. In the budget, what is important is what is the overall macroeconomic architecture, what happens to interest rates, what happens to the fiscal deficit. I think to me, those are very important. Those also impact the power sector, and those are looking very positive. So I think from that standpoint, it will lead to further power demand growth, and it will lead to states continue to support reform of their discoms. And I think those are very important factors in the power sector in general.
So continuity of policy action, that's what you like, and the commitment towards the transition to a greener economy is also something which is a positive. Thank you, Sumant, for joining us today and talking to us about the key takeaways for the power sector. But time now to get you another reaction when it comes to the